What's up, Malphas? It's your boy Malphas. I made looking cute, looking clean, looking sexy, and of course, today I'm with the one, the only Afro coming 765, aka Tori. How you doing today, my guy?
You already know your local neighborhood scumbag here to give the folks their daily dose of dirtbag. Same gimmick, different day. Ready to talk good old wrestling with the people.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna make y'all wait today. We're not even gonna make you wait. We're gonna get into the topic at hand. CM Punk has been suspended, and he's also injured in at least 6 to 9 months off a tope. And of course, he's injured during the suspension, so it's kind of weird. So I don't know how that works. Are you going to tack on, or are you just going to take his pay away? Apparently, they have also kind of recanted their statements about how it started a little bit. Maybe they didn't kick the door down. I'm like, okay, when
I always thought that was like a figure of speech, though. Anyways, I didn't
yeah,
think he
yeah,
meant they were literally trying to kick the door down. Like
yeah,
that's Midwestern talk from when somebody's banging on your door.
yeah. In the South, we just say beat it down, but it's based on how you talk, and and a lot going on. They both have very weird. Their stories are complete opposite. Um, MJF apparently is one of the witnesses, which makes this even more interesting since
Ooh,
uh since of course he's one of the witnesses. He's them and them are he's on the last of the night, so of course he's probably gonna stick around more than most other people. So of course that makes sense. He was the last person they showed, so and apparently he was telling people 2 weeks ago, make sure you watch for the all out media scrum. He clearly pointed out Nick Housen, so he clearly knew to look for him. And then he kind of said, before we gonna get Tori in here, he did say you kind of ruined my spot, which means this was kind of intentional. I had to go back. Somebody told me he said it. I didn't hear it the first time. They're like, you kind of ruined my spot here, but okay, I'm gonna still go off.
yeah.
And all of this, the question becomes, is he worth it? And I'm talking about the whole thing. From That's why I mentioned everything from him being injured, from him knowing he's about to do this wild thing 2 weeks ago, before the meeting, basically, that he's gonna do this. Even
If
after
that's
they,
true.
yeah,
Well, I mean,
that's
he could have planned on calling out the media.
yeah, but they kind
I
of like
can
you
tell
said,
that seems like a CM Punk move. Like especially if he felt maligned by them, I could see that.
yeah. So he
And
basically did.
I figured that's what when he was talking to Nick and he told him that he ruined his spot. I figured like that alluded to him. Like I didn't think that was. I didn't know it was ever in dispute that this was a spur of the moment thing or whether he had planned on doing this. I guess is what I'm saying.
I think spur of the moment would have been a better. I had an excuse in my mind that he was mad because they ruined his spot in Chicago where even MJF got a louder chant than he did. So I'm like, okay, he's upset, and then I'm like, that's more reasonable. But if it's premeditated, I kind of got more of a problem that you
Well, I mean,
premeditated.
I figured it was premeditated because I mean, look at the way the media did him after that loss to Moxley. Like, look at the way everybody acted. I'd have been
Yeah.
pissed off too. And when's the next time that you're going to have all those people in the same room? Well, the media scrum it all out. So why wouldn't you then air your grievances, especially if you won the belt back? It made perfect sense to me. I just think everybody in the media is a little butthurt because he took them to task.
Well, it kind of didn't work out the way you wanted because it come to find out that Nick Housen, like, I don't even like this dude no more.
Well,
And
no, no, no. But as long as he got off his chest how he was feeling,
yeah. But according to SRS, he said he don't even speak to the Young Bucks. And Dave said Dave might be lying though. Dave
I was
could
going to say
cuss.
Dave definitely speaks to the young bucks.
I'm gonna say SRS. He barely even. You go through his people. You could MJF is one of his people that he talked to often. I know because they have interviews randomly all the time. I know probably Kevin Owens, AJ Styles, them his people. You never see him talk about anything the Young Bucks do. And Kenny Omega, he said only met Kenny one time for an interview, which was made through a whole nother program.
Yeah.
Because he had an interview with Kenny. We were talking about Will Ospreay and stuff like that. He said that was made through a third party who I didn't even Probably Will Washington or somebody like that. Denise Salcedo, one of the like people that's inside of AEW. So he said he didn't. He's like, I have no one even speak to them. He admits he's talked to MJF, so you know if MJF, so that's kind of his thing. But at this point, Tori, is he worth it? Because the interest is probably the big. I'm gonna say this before I let you.
The injury is the big. Because the injury just sort of eliminate like, is he worth it? In what way? Now is the question. Do we think that Punk comes back from this torn tricep or bicep stronger than ever, ready to go? I mean, he's in his 40s, so I don't know
the second back to back.
Yeah, like I don't know what the bounce back is gonna look like, but like I don't even. The question I don't even know is he worth it or not. I think the real question is he going to be able to come back or not? Like we don't know. I know they were saying he could have already gone under, if he's already undergone surgery. Like I saw some reports saying that they thought that he could have already been going. Then I'm feeling like he's probably going to try and make a comeback if he's literally, we're talking next day or two after surgery. You know what I mean? If that's the case. But man, 6 to 9 months is a long time.
It is. Like the fight itself.
I think in ratings, if he's gonna make a comeback, I think CM Punk's always gonna be a rating draw, no matter what. And if you're Tony Khan and you've got money like that, it might be worth it to, even if you got to keep him on the shelf. I mean, it might be better than just leaving that gun out there for somebody else to pick up when it's fixed, or if it gets fixed. So I don't know. I feel like Tony, whether it's worth it or not doesn't matter. I feel like Tony Khan can afford it. And that's all that really matters, is can you afford it or not?
It's multiple situations. The fight itself is probably the least important thing to me.
Let's be completely honest, whether Tony Khan keeps or drops CM Punk is not going to make or break him in any way, shape, or form. Just like we all know AEW is not going to. Fucking Tony Khan loses AEW tomorrow, his pockets are fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think going in this situation, talking about it, I think the fight itself is probably the least important thing, even though somebody did get hit with a chair. But that's why I always say he still probably got to go, because you can't just throw chairs at people. And
I don't know. It depends, man. Like I said, if
I don't even consider the fight as bad.
If he came in there and his wife, he knows his wife's in there with CM Punk, he thinks 3 dudes are trying to jump CM Punk. Fuck yeah. A chair and some teethers isn't that wild. I know some niggas that would fucking gat somebody down in that exact same situation.
I'm sorry, if I saw Matt Jackson come in my room and he gets punched twice and get knocked out, I'm not scared.
No, but I'm just saying.
It's the least intimidating people I've ever seen in my life.
And shit, and he's just coming in off of that. I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying.
Matt Jackson and Nick Jackson combined. I thought about this after we talked about it. Like 3 people. I'm like, bro, they are the most least intimidating. I'm like, I'm knocking all y'all out with one punch and I'm going back to sleep.
I'm just saying, fucking optics are everything, especially in these kind of situations.
Yeah. So, like I said, but the fights happen. I don't care about the fight. That's the least important thing. Matter of fact, but he did set a precedent by suspending Eddie Kingston for 2 weeks for just.
Well, look, he made, not only Punk vacated his title. Notice there's no interim in those. The Elite vacated the trios titles too.
Yeah, they gotta lose that EVP thing too, but that's a whole nother conversation. But
well, I'll believe that when I see it. I don't think that's gonna happen.
They got to. This is Tony Khan got to be the boss.
I highly doubt he does. If he does, they'll leave.
I ain't gonna lie, taking the belts was the first step.
I think he wants to keep them more than that.
But like I said, the fight is the least important thing. I don't even think I don't think the fight the least important thing. Like I said, fights happen every day. It is what it is. I don't even think Eddie Kingston should have been suspended for 2 weeks for because that's you in a competitive place and
No,
stuff
but
like that.
society's different now. Fights didn't used to matter. You got to think when I was in school, you'd get into a fight and then you'd get suspended for like 3 or 4 days. Nowadays in school, you get in a fight and they take you to the juvenile detention center. Like that's wild. They, society in general treats fighting a lot different now than it used to.
That is true. I the big to me one of the biggest things was him embarrassing Tony Khan in front of the people. I'm like,
I
that's
mean
real.
that was bad, but like I said, I sort of understand. I understand where he was coming from, though. I'm not. That doesn't make it right in any way, shape, or form. But I understand where he was coming from.
You can't just go out there and just start calling out. And then he said the words that I have seen throughout that none of these people have done anything. And I'm like, Hangman hasn't won anything, and I'm like, he would you beat him for the title. You basically just but CM Punk, y'all know my gripe. He been making that title look worthless.
But no, we can't discount the fact that he has literally carried these people's the ratings on their back. And I see people want to talk about Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. Bro, go back and look at the analytics since Kenny's came back. Fucking each of the times that he's came back on Dynamite, they've lost 200,000 viewers on average during those times, and that's a fact. Like you have been losing when for some reason when Kenny Omega comes on TV, they lose viewers. So and he was one of your biggest draws. So what are you gonna do without CM Punk? I mean, we're gonna find. We got
MJF
to find out.
1.2 million money grab. The alpha in the room is back.
But it,
Hey, it
it's
dropped off
wild.
when MJF left. It dropped off heavy.
Yeah, I mean, but MJF's gonna have a it's a lot for one person
MJF, he
because
carrying heavy.
now Kenny and the Bucks are gone for however long. I mean, last last night's Dynamite was it was okay. Or wait, it's Friday, right? Wednesday's Dynamite was decent. You know what I mean? For what they had, I'm all about Death Triangle as trios champions. That makes mad sense for me. But it's a sticky situation he's in. You just had to by societal needs you just had to ixnay most of the top of your card. Both new champions that came out of All Out are god dang suspended and removed until further notice.
Yeah, yo.
So
Thank God MJF came back around this time because they would be
yeah,
in.
and
It
now
would
we
be
got to try.
all on
But
Moxley.
MJF was coming back, lining up with a perfect feud on Punk, with which he doesn't have now. And I don't know if I want to see Moxley versus MJF. I mean, whatever MJF's going to do, it's good. But Punk was like the perfect opponent.
I
But
think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna
we'll
be
see. We'll
Danielson
see.
because ain't Moxley owed a vacation, right? I
I
think he just holding
Yeah.
off for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
He's
I
gonna go on
think
his
I
vacation.
honestly I know I want MJF to have the belt at some point in time, but I sort of want Bryan Danielson to win the belt
Yeah, I think he's
and give
gonna
me
win.
Bryan Danielson versus MJF could be amazing.
It is. I think Mox still owed his vacation, so I don't think he's gonna be around the
You think
whole time.
he gets knocked out of the tournament early?
I think he's gonna be. It's 2 weeks when it's final. I think he just hold his vacation off for 2 weeks and then come back at the end of October. What would it be? A month off? Because it was September
Yeah,
twenty
something
first,
like
and
that.
yeah, September 21st is when they had Arthur Ashe, right? And then yeah, that's Grand Slam. And then the next pay per view in Cincinnati will be October 30th, something like that, around that time.
I don't know.
Yeah, so I think that's when they're gonna do because I think he just lose to Danielson. I don't think he has. I don't think who won. Sammy. It's out of Sammy
Because
and Darby.
Danielson should have held the belt a long time ago.
He should. I kind of wanted
He's
Hangman. I
done all
prefer.
this. I think he's done the best of like putting over young talent. I mean, look, well, Tony finally got a belt on his stepson Daniel Garcia.
He loved Daniel Garcia. Daniel Garcia main event every Dynamite. I have never.
And now he finally got a belt, but now poor Wheeler Yuta.
I'm not gonna hold you, dog. They said that thing got 800,000 views. I'm like, oh, nobody really
I tell
cared
you
about
what, though, with this Grand Slam tournament that they got going on, man, Sammy Guevara better not beat Darby Allin.
Yeah, that seems like a
I'm be
big problem.
shitty. But what
But
what are we talking about, sir? I
yeah,
might have knocked us off track.
yeah, it's just about the tournament, AEW, and what they do. I
Oh,
think they
okay.
did a decent job of recovering and focusing on newer talent. Warlow, like, y'all ain't forgot about me. I'm like, yes, we kind of did. Thank you for reminding us, even though you did a
I
squash
was
match we
gonna say
didn't care
you
about.
got that in the back seat there for a second. Poor Tony Nese had to get squashed real quick.
You just, I'm like, I don't know if these squashes working as well, but it is what it is at this point. But
But Wardlow's money, they just gotta. They should have Goldberged them, bro. They should have been just having putting them in these super quick matches, knocking niggas down.
yeah, and put them
That
against
would have been
some.
better than whatever that was that they were trying to do with Jay Lethal and Satnam Singh.
Yeah, I think the problem he's having is he has a belt that people don't care about because they got like 40 belts.
Yeah.
Like the 10T belt is defended on TBS. Like it's very strange. But I'm like, I don't know why they named the belt after the company if they never gonna defend the belt on said company that they put
Well,
it
you
on.
got to think they named the belt before they had the TBS deal. Originally, they were only supposed to be on TNT,
Yeah,
and then
but
they got moved over to TBS, but that wasn't until like a year or almost two into the deal, so they already had the TNT championship. So they kept it, and that's why they brought in the TBS championship, so they'd have a championship for TBS too, because Rampage was still going to be on TNT.
it's Tony just make horrible decisions without foresight for what he's. It's just without foresight. But the question overall, we talked about how they recovered basically and how everything is going. And you look at it and you be like, is he worth coming back? Because from what I'm seeing and some of the promo, the back is pissed off and said he got to make some amends. And I don't know if CM Punk the type of dude to make amends. But he got 6 to 9 months to think about it. So
Yeah, he's got plenty of time.
what's that? Gerald? Gerald is here.
What's happening? Little boy birthday. So a little late, but I'm ready to talk some CM Punk.
Is he worth it? I think Tori's leaning into her, bring him back 9 months, 12 months from now, whenever. Give
I
him a
mean,
suspension. I don't
you
know.
can, but that's a is it. I think CM Punk can always be worth it if he's going to be able to perform.
That's what I'm saying. If he get hurt every other match he do, the man that had how many matches since
Yeah,
he
it
win the
might not.
title?
Because see, it's going to come down is it worth it to him? Is it worth it for him to put his body through this?
Yeah. Joe, your thought.
My question to that would be the question to him is where would he go if he didn't have AEW? I'm sure Impact would take him,
I
but
mean, I
would
don't think he has to wrestle.
he don't? But if he's got that type of attitude, would he coach? Like he could be a voice. He'd be a great voice.
I'm not gonna hold you though. If he called me dumb kids, I'm like, yo, this.
I mean,
Yeah.
By the way, my problem with that statement before I'm gonna let Gerald go is y'all remember what he did to Tony Atlas back in them old days when he like you don't tell me what to do, old man. It's a new way, and I'm like, so how do you treat them the way Tony Atlas treats you? You see, that's not. But yeah, Jared, you can go.
Give him
no.
exchange, bro.
I mean, because see, at one point I do agree with Tori saying bringing back, but I'm like bringing back because I feel like at this point AEW has more leverage than him when it because where else is he going to go and be a bigger star than he is at AEW? He can't go back to WWE. They will not. Vince would let him back. Triple H wouldn't. Um, Triple H wants to build stars, and Triple H already had his run in with him. I feel like AEW should let him back just on just that they have leverage over him. Uh, oof, these next 9 months of rehab is just going to have to be. He has to rehab. I mean, and he has to rehab his reputation, rehab his body, his style of wrestling. He has to rehab quite a bit in order to come back. But I do agree that he should come back. I mean, what else are they going to? I mean,
One-on-one kickboxing with my boy Roddy. Not
Mhm.
Roddy.
I mean, Bobby,
Bobby.
Bobby,
Bobby.
yeah,
Yeah, he got the challenge out there. He ready. He said, "Your martial
yeah,
arts is trash.
yeah.
I
That's what
will
he said.
kill you. I will hackle you."
Bobby was heated too. Mm, Bobby, he 48.
Still one to go.
Oof,
Go get in
that's
your bed.
wild.
What you were
Yeah.
saying, Gerald?
I mean, I mean, like this, like you bring him back, but like definitely docking something, like definitely telling him you can't just go into business for yourself. If you want to be a part of this organization, Tony Khan has to stand up to everybody involved, including the EVPs, and just say, "Hey, this is I can't allow this," or you know, EVPs is that's another conversation to have for another day. But he's definitely got to say, "Hey, CM Punk, you can't be doing stuff like that when I'm sitting right next to you at the press conference. You know, I'm sitting next to you, pretty much almost condoning you just downing my stars like this." So like Tony Khan has to
Stop
get
sitting
out of
next
his
to him too.
stance.
That looks weird when you just
It's
smiling.
weird. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is weird. Like I'll give it to Roman. He just said acknowledge me and left. Like
And
that's
Triple H was on the side too. He wasn't even beside him, so you don't see him.
yeah. It's like you don't even know he's there.
Yeah,
Like it's such a contrast what's going on with AEW and WWE right now. It's crazy.
yeah. It is. Like I said, I don't know if he's worth it. It's cause of everything, Gerald. You know what I mean? From premeditated to I'm finna put on this thing. I'm finna diss all these people. Now that he's the veteran,
Yeah, whew,
so you supposed to be like these young kids acting up. Let me call y'all out in the locker room and talk my piece. To the locker room seems to be pissed at him. Chris Jericho, I could tell from the promo they're more mad with Punk, even though they kind of did say something about the EVP.
yeah.
But they were
They,
like, "This is my locker room, and nobody gonna take it from me." Chris
hmm
Jericho, like, I was here way before you was. I was here 2 years before you. This is I'm the veteran of this locker room. I'm like, I know
yeah.
who that shot at.
hmm Exactly. I
Yeah.
mean, from what's been going on, it seems like this has been Punk problem from since jump, and I can't ever really see
People
Punk as
forget about
being.
ROH. People forget how he missed. He will. ROH
Oh
ain't
yeah,
invited him back. You know how they have them special? They invite Kevin Owens and everybody back.
and everybody in it.
They
Yeah,
don't invite him back, and I'm like, that tell you something.
that say something. That say something right there.
You know what I'm saying?
And 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 I agree with you actually. That's why I think AEW should bring you back, mainly because they have the leverage now. Because CM Punk will not be a bigger star than where he is right now. So you can dock his pay, you can stop him, you can slow him down. Say, hey, you work with us, we don't work for you. And if that, give him a trial, do that, but don't put a lot of money into him. And but if
Yeah,
he's think he a bigger star, let him walk. WWE won't want him back.
yeah, I don't know. I think they'll go after the young Bucks and wasn't even though I don't know about them, but I think they'll go for them before they go for CM Punk.
Oh
Triple
yeah,
H, I already told y'all how he felt about him.
yeah,
You and
yeah,
that and I even heard from all the people said that was a shoot interview because CM Punk said, "What you really think of me, Phil?" I mean, he was like Phil, Paul, and he was
hmm
like, and he said Triple H was like, "I didn't know we were supposed to do this, but okay." And I'm like, and they have you see interviews, old interview with RVD and
Oh
Chris
yeah,
Jericho and Cody Rhodes and be like
okay.
in WWE, this dude come in and be like, as the locker room leader, and,
And it's
and
like
Chris Jericho like, who? You
who?
just got here. Who told
It's
you to
just
run
at
the
the
locker
locker
room?
room leader.
Yeah,
See, and it's that diva quality that CM Punk has. That's just like no, you don't run things, like you think you do just because you had a
yeah,
pipe bomb. Like
yeah.
even when CM Punk was there, Cena has been that he's been that pretty much the whole time. Like he's been that locker room leader, and now it's clearly Roman.
Yeah.
So, and I can't see CM Punk being second fiddle to Roman when it comes to the locker room, but literally the entire locker room follows Roman.
You do they do acknowledge?
I mean, the entire one, dude.
By the
And
way, the amount of love I see Roman gets from the locker room is
oh yeah,
crazy.
oh yeah, people
It's
people
like
love him.
almost Undertaker level of like we respect that dude.
Honestly, and I got to give it to him. I mean, he's the draw right now for for SmackDown, clearly. Well, Raw too, kind of. He's the draw right now, but he also, Sami Zayn is in a position to where once that whole situation implodes and Sami joins Kevin, they will be the biggest storyline coming out of SmackDown, unless Roman faces The Rock, and then what else would that be?
Yeah. I remember the story when Sammy was frustrated. Roman Reigns tweeted, "What I need is more Sami Zayn on my TV," and
Exactly.
he has been on TV. I think he only missed like 2 weeks for his own
Hmm.
personal reason. He ain't been on TV.
Hmm.
I
And he's
remember
been on
Keith
TV.
Lee talking about Survivor Series, how Vince like you just gonna beat him. Roman like, no, we got to make it special. Buddy Matthews said Roman, I wasn't even supposed to have a match on. He like that kid's talented. Let me show him. And everybody remember that Buddy Matthews Roman
Oh, that
Reigns
was
match.
such a good match. It was such a good match because Buddy Matthews is so underrated.
Yeah,
Like
people didn't even know he was good because he was like Seth Rollins' joke character.
yeah, exactly. And I said, hey, I think his in ring ability was up there. Oof. It was almost unmatched at points. Like he can make it Mustafa Ali or Roman, have a great match, and he was just believable. He just ain't had no charisma. You can't get behind a Buddy Matthews.
But Roman told him to get his shot. Like I said, Roman, even though the WWE protected him, he always like lets people get their shot.
Oh
Period.
yeah, yeah. He let Jay Uso like like that was one of the best feuds. Like him and Jay Uso. Like
I think overall, if you look at that feud in totality, we gonna remember that feud as a modern day classic.
classic. Yeah, one of the best feuds was him and his cousin.
Because it was like so story driven. Like I'm the head of
Hmm.
this family. I'm back. I'm the king of this island. He even got the like the red.
The that whole thing that
Yeah,
was
he even
crossing.
brung
Yeah,
that out. He got his father and
yeah, that
and
was
the whole.
crazy. And didn't have nobody in the stands. That's why you got to give it. That's why it got to go up more. That was probably the best feud of the no crowd era.
From the fake crime. That was
I hate you,
there's
man.
still memes today about that.
Oh yeah, and it should be because
So
it was
I don't
great
like you
TV.
said. I don't think he'll ever. He won't never be what Roman Reigns is. I don't even know if he'll want to be that since he won't never be that guy. And people forget he kind of one that ruined Roman Reigns' initial face push
He did.
by saying, "Oh, they always want me to get him over," because the crowd was kind of behind him then, and then they were like, "You're right. They're always
Hmm.
pushing him. That's Vince guy. We hate Vince guy. You know how
Oh yeah,
WWE
yeah,
is."
yeah. They
So
hate a face Vince guy, but they don't see that Roman is a heel Vince guy and is over.
yeah, I think they always like Vince's heels. They always or tweeners. They really
Yeah.
like these tweeners. They don't. They
Mm.
never like this. Vince does do a horrible job of his faces. The only one I think he did a good job on is Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the
And
only
that was
one.
such an easy story. That's such a home run. And, oh yeah, and Brian Danielson when he was Daniel Bryan, he made some easy like knocked out the parts when they just like easy knockout babyface run.
Oh yeah. Well, see, the crowd trying to kind of did that Daniel Bryan run,
Yeah,
and because he would have been an Intercontinental Champion at the most. The crowd was like, "No, we don't want anybody else but Daniel right there."
but Vince went with it and actually told him adding the people like he could have just put him in the mat, but adding that Triple H stipulation from the B plus thing was actually even brilliant
Great.
afterwards.
That was great. Yeah.
Like you're not good enough, and I'm gonna prove it to you. And then I think he got a bigger reaction when he beat Triple H when we go on looking back at it than when he won the title.
It was well when he won the title. That was after Undertaker lost, and could nobody. They couldn't catch their breath after that. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, They wanted to send somebody home happy because everybody was like, "Are you kidding me? Brock did that," which should have been Bray Wyatt, but that'd be another question for another day.
Yeah, but overall, I don't know if you bring him back because I don't know if it's worth it because his body, attitude, locker room. Like I said, if you in making money off of it, I would have said if you wasn't injured, you can make money off of it when the suspension's over. But now you can't do it off with the suspension's over. You
I
go
mean,
9 months ago. The way wrestling going right now. Vin- the,
oof.
something big finna happen again, and then this shit. Stone Cold came back out of retirement, and nobody, and it's the least talked about thing.
And it's the least talked about thing. And it was the main event against Kevin Owens, which Kevin Owens was living out his dream. Stone Cold got to end, his career in his hometown, in his city, in his state, at WrestleMania, being the main event, winning. And so, like everything about that, we forget because we had MJF, we got CM Punk now. Like it's been
Vince
so much,
McMahon's still the biggest thing of the year. That scandal was
and
crazy.
that's even forgotten. And I forgot about that. That
That's
scandal was
because everything happened fast. But at the end of the year, I remember how big the Vince situation was. Because we thought Vince was gonna stay until he died. So,
and he would have if
yeah,
it wasn't for the situation. Vince would have
yeah,
still been there.
yeah. So it's just so much going on. That's thing. So let's get into some wrestling that happened. We had Raw. Raw was decent.
Cool.
Yeah, it was. I think it's a cool off Raw. They knew it. It's like it's we don't you don't watch 12 hours of wrestling this weekend.
Yes, woof, woof.
It's Labor Day. Y'all gotta get ready to work. We gonna have a cool episode. It's better than a lot of Vince's episode of the Raw, but it was a cool. The thing that popped me with Dexter Loomis when Miz tried to go down and he just
Oh,
hanging
that was
halfway like he was in the sheet, like he was under the covers.
like, and I said this I think last time. It's just Vince let that man go. He come back and that's the image you get from Raw. Like Triple H sees the vision of these stars. Like, and I know Triple H went under a lot of scrutiny because NXT couldn't beat AEW in the ratings, but NXT was and will always be a developmental. And Triple H wasn't trying to beat ratings; he'll try to develop stars. Vince don't watch NXT, so anybody he bring up, they gonna get the Good Brothers treatment. They gonna get FTR's treatment where they washing each other in the shower. Like ain't nobody got time for that. When FTR is one of the best, if not the best tag team besides the Uso, not Aim Uso.
I think Triple H considered a third brand because he wanted to compete with the other two, but Vince didn't, and he didn't have the money to compete for real. Tony Khan is throwing bread at AEW Dynamite. And Vince
Yeah,
like, I don't know none of these people names. I'm not giving you nothing. You gonna stay in this full sale stadium and you gonna be chill and hang out.
and just let it be at that.
Yeah, so I don't. So I know people gonna bring up, oh well, Triple H said it was. Triple H wanted it to be, but Vince was not putting money into it. If you think that show had money behind it, Vince did not put money behind that show.
Not in the slightest.
Uh,
I mean,
now
if
you
Vince
got
ain't
turned
watching
over cars. Now you got all that. You ain't seeing that on NXT. You ain't
no,
seeing,
you just seeing in ring, and
yeah.
Vince just told Triple H to do exactly what he told him to do, which was just gather indie stars so AEW can't get him. So Triple H did exactly what he was told, and then everybody mad at Triple H.
Yeah, but
So
that's what it was. But Triple H is, I think, it's the vast difference between how they going and AEW is interesting. AEW got a chance to turn around though. They got
they
uh
they do. They gotta do something though.
AEW Dynamite was a solid show. It was a good show. I slightly liked it more than Raw. Was it? People I know a lot of fans like it was so amazing. I'm like the show was okay. A lot of it was needed though.
Yeah.
Like
You,
I'm not a guy into rah rah. You know what I'm saying, Gerald? I'm not into like the rah rah. This is wrestling. I'm like it doesn't work as well.
nah.
Especially since Drew McIntyre done had a whole speech on wrestling too. So it's not like you going against somebody about wrestling. So it doesn't
Exactly.
hit the same. But I think they needed rah rah because they were like for morale purpose. Because everybody did seem fired up.
Oh yeah.
They're
Yes.
like John Moxley did what John Moxley does. He did it in WWE. People forget about it when he was Dean Ambrose and Roman got suspended.
Oh yeah.
He was working Raw and SmackDown. One night he defended on SmackDown show and then went to Raw. He opened up like a SmackDown show, then went to the Raw show and closed it. Like that man, he did 300 nights that
It
year.
works. I mean, right now, if you look at it, the Shield's still on top, and they never really went to the bottom of the card since they came to the card. I guess Ryback, Kane, and Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Like they still on top, and I want to see Seth Rollins taking that other title, and I want to see him running Raw. But that's a commitment right now. I mean, Roman's doing his thing,
Yeah.
or
So
at
they
least
have
Cody
them.
Rhodes.
Yeah, they got all those situations going on. Um, like I said, how do you feel about Dynamite? Did you like it?
Dynamite was cool. They what was needed to be said. Like I wasn't interested in the wrestling aspect of Dynamite more than I was the explanation as to what happened, or at least an explanation as to who's next up. Because how I'm so used to the Vince way of things, like if somebody go down or somebody gets suspended or somebody hurt, who next up? MJF came, John Moxley, his name's getting thrown out there. Like I just want to know who's next up. Shouldn't be no Sammy Guevara. It shouldn't be no Sammy at all. And to tell you the truth, Chris Jericho shouldn't be no interim champion, which I seen it was supposed to be Chris Jericho versus Sammy for that title. That's what I seen a tweet of that, and I was like, that's backwards. You got seven
Danielson
people.
beating Chris Jericho. He just lost to him. He gonna beat him this time.
He better.
Danielson going through the people that beat him list, basically.
He
Like
better.
it's gonna end up being John Moxley at the end, and the three people that beat him was Hangman. Well, besides of course, Daniel Garcia, but they got their
Yeah.
storyline going on. But it's gonna be Hangman, um, Chris Jericho, who just beat him at All Out, and then Moxley, and then he went through the champion. Even though it confuses me, they call it the champions like gauntlet. Even though Danielson the only one that's not a champion, all the other ones have been champion. Even Sammy and Darby. Has Darby been champion? Yeah,
I
Darby
don't.
was a
He was TNT when.
yeah, I think
Yeah,
so. But
and they call it the Champions Gauntlet.
yeah,
So,
I
I,
guess they
I,
count WWE too. I guess you have to count WWE, but
but this gauntlet is missing some of the people who should be in there.
I want Eddie Kingston, but he's suspended, so I understand it.
That like you either got injuries or suspensions.
Yeah,
Like how this
Miro, I
asylum.
guess Miro should be in it.
That's the one I was thinking of was Miro.
Miro over Sammy.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
but yeah, you got Darby Allen. You got it's an interesting thing. Then you got the Death Triangle. I did like the fact that Death Triangle won the um champ. I did like the fact that Death Triangle won the championship because who outside the elite they deserve it.
Yeah, I got a thing because when y'all was talking about the championships, uh, is AEW oversaturated with titles?
100%. They got 18 titles on their show.
Because
They got 18
somebody
titles on their show.
I don't watch Dynamite all the time, but I catch it on Twitter because I only watch Raw. But like I know who's champions on Raw and who's champions on SmackDown. Like I'm when it comes to AEW, I'm like, okay, I know they got the trio title because I'm a big Bastard fan. Um, but I'm like, okay, I forgot he had that other title which he don't defends that much. That which
He
I thought
defended everywhere else besides on AEW.
Hello?
like I want to see it on
What's that,
AEW.
Tor?
Oh shit. I I wasn't sure if I was in or not.
Yeah.
Let's see, I'm and
No,
this.
you don't get to pick your family, people.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm right there with you.
I
But
have
like this,
returned though.
okay. Well, like, how do you this trios title? It I mean, I understand it, and it makes sense, but I wouldn't have a trios title. Kind of like how I feel about the AEW women's division. Like, it should be one title, and like this trios title, I'm like, y'all tag team division ain't really that defined. You got Swerve, you got Swerve in your glory, which is hard for me to say, and the
They shouldn't be
claim
the tag champs.
they shouldn't. With the claim should be, but like I'm like the trios champion. Can they go against the tag team champions? And then what about Pac's championship? Can he face the TNT or the TBS champion? I don't know what's going on with the championships,
One
but
one thing I was thinking though, I sort of felt bad for Swerve in Our Glory because if you look back at the media scrum, how do you feel when all those people? The one question is, how do you feel like? Do you feel like you should have called an audible like right in front of him? Do you think you maybe should have switched it and let the other guys win?
I mean,
I don't think they care, but I think it's the fine for Swerve to start going heel anyway. I think
Swerve.
they
Yeah.
did what they want. After looking back at it again, at the end of the thing, they did the little sesame thing, and Keith Lee did it, but Swerve basically flipped him off and then flipped off the crowd. And then he
Yeah.
went, and as you saw this week, he became a heel. It's like I think it's gonna play off a heel face dynamic, and then Acclaim win at Grand Slam. But they wanted to make Swerve a heel. I think.
At this point, you should split both of
But
them up.
man, that could have been a moment though. If they'd have made the switch right there and put the belt on the Acclaim, think about that. That would have been a moment. But then again, would it have just been overshadowed by CM Punk at the end of the night?
Oof, that'd have been trouble, and you can have nothing overshadow on the Acclaim because that's I mean WWE guys love the Acclaim.
All I know is I need for the Acclaim to win the belt before 2023.
They'll
It's
probably win at
obvious.
Grand Slam. If they don't win at Grand
They
Slam,
got
you can't
they
even put them
almost
back up
have
there.
to. And they're
So you
really
can't put them.
one of the last claims that TK has to homegrown
Yeah,
that's actually over in his company.
yeah.
Yeah, true. But we're gonna start getting this show down a little bit. We're gonna do something that we're gonna start every week. I gotta make a thing for it. But we're gonna be the match of the week. Starting from the way we do this, I want to explain this to everybody. The way we do this is we do this show before SmackDown. So anything from SmackDown to the moment we do this show can be considered the match of the week, which includes the pay-per-view this weekend. Um,
Oh, for so you're adding in this whole last weekend.
yeah, anything from because it's unfair that we do a match of the week every week, but it don't include the shows that we didn't cover.
Oh, that see, you changed my whole pool. Then I was just thinking about matches from
From
Raw
Raw
and
and Dynamite, me too.
Dynamite, and
Oof.
you messed up my whole pool, yo.
Well,
I had
this week we can do both, and now we know how it's gonna be set. I'll start, and then we'll go to Torin and Gerald. First off, my match of the week, of course, is Gunther Sheamus for the men. We gonna do men and women too.
oh, I don't
My
have any
women,
women.
mine is Roxanne versus Miko on NXT, which is actually insane. Because I never picked NXT to be the match of the week in that case. But yeah,
I
Miko. If
don't
you
think
watch
there's
that
a
match
match.
again, Roxanne Roxy versus Miko, it was special. So let's be my match of the week in terms of that. And if you do just the week shows, that's gonna still be the same women's match, but it ended up being probably the trio title match on AEW. That's for me. Tori, what's your?
Um, well, from the weekend, I'd have to concur with you. Walter versus Sheamus was a banger. Um, from the actual week, I surprisingly enough, I liked Danielson versus Hangman. I know I'm on record as not being a Hangman fan, all like that, but
That was a dub for me.
I thought that was a good little 20-minute match. The surprise roll up was used right. Hopefully, we're gonna get a belt on Danielson. Give me that Danielson MJF feud. Um, I'm trying to think. I feel bad not having a women's match, but like I didn't really care for a lot of the women's matches. I mean, good for Tony Storm winning. That was a decent 4-way. Oh, did Bailey? Yeah, didn't
Yeah, the six
damage
woman.
control.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 6 woman was really good too. That would be my
Yeah, that
second
was a
honorable
really good
mention.
match. Since we're gonna go from the weekend as well, and then of course Roman and Drew.
Yeah.
Solo was the only one that's allowed to fly internationally. You know, the Usos can't leave the states.
Yeah. Mm.
So the bloodline is now complete. All we need is for Triple H to somehow go over there and talk MLW out of Jacob Fatu.
Yeah, I'm hearing MLW might be having a few free agents. I'm interested in that. Which, if you add Jacob Fatu to the bloodline, you might want to keep that. You might want to keep
No,
that belt
because
on Roman for another.
but then they never lose. Then what belt do you? Because I think isn't the gimmick of the bloodline eventually going to have to be that everybody has a belt?
Yeah, so just
So now Solo is going to have to either take a belt off Walter or frickin'
Bobby
Bobby
Lashley.
Lashley.
That's tough in
hey,
itself.
hey, take both of them. I'm for it.
Ooh,
Hey, go get Jacob Fatu to take it off Gunther.
that'd be wild. Jacob Fatu versus Walter would be a super.
Nuts. That would be nuts.
Yeah, and then you can do the.
I,
Uh,
s- actually see Jacob versus Bobby, but because Bobby versus Umaga, I can see Jacob facing Bobby if he came over, because you can redo that Bobby and Umaga, which was a great underrated feud with a lot of people I don't really care to name at WrestleMania, but that was a great feud. Of course, Jacob, I don't know, Jacob had to face Roman. That's Jacob is just good.
but he already does the bloodline.
Yeah.
He always does the every time they have a match. Jacob Fatu on Twitter does the acknowledge me and all that stuff.
I was about to say he's down with it.
Mm.
Well, they were calling him. They called him the Tribal Tieto. That was kind of wild.
The ghetto. I
Yeah,
just read
I was like,
something
damn. I
that,
was like, why
Kevin
y'all
Owens.
doing like? It was funny though. He played well with it too. It just sucks that he's not gonna because of his record. But maybe Triple H is different. Triple H signed Jacob Fatu. Or do you guys
Well,
think that's more like a board thing, like where they're a publicly traded company, they can't sign certain talent?
well, his cousins technically can't leave.
I mean, that's true.
So that's saying so. Hey, your brothers and can't do it. Yeah, hey, listen, y'all can't leave. I can't leave. We all in the same boat. We had to go get we had to go get baby bro to come over.
Mm.
We had to go get baby bro. But Gerald, what's your match of the week?
Um, Before I give my match of the week, I just read something on here that somebody in this list the idea that they're gonna have KO and Sammy fighting for a spot in the bloodline. And I said that KO anything KO Sammy do is different, but when you put another storyline for that, that's good. But I mean, this is gonna be the worst match of the week we've ever done because we all agree. Sheamus versus Gunther. All day.
Even Dave agreed with us.
Yeah.
I mean, it was an amazing match.
It's
Uh,
gone. Is Walter the only person in WWE to get like all these 5 stars from Dave and nobody else?
I figured that was gonna happen. Like in NXT UK, he didn't have a bad match.
He's a ring general for real.
Yeah.
For the night show, they have Drew versus Solo in a no DQ match.
Different.
So the Street Champ versus Drew back.
Hmm.
Yeah, but we about to get out there. Tell everybody where you going, Tori. Where can they find you?
765 on everything. You can catch me here on Overall 99 with these fools on different shows talking crazy. You already know, like, subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell, all that.
Oh, that Gerald, what can they find you?
NBA season. I won't talk to you until then.
We'll see you. We'll see you then. But you know how to find me. You can just hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell. You see me all the time. But however, we about to get out of here. I appreciate y'all. Enjoy SmackDown or enjoy them boys at Friday Night. Yeah, they're coming up in about 10 minutes. So shout out to them boys. They are killing it right now. And we're out. Peace.